Hello everyone, today we would like to share the story that completely changed the way we understand child psychology. It also made us ask one important question. Why do some children continue to wet the bed even after they are 6, 7 or even 10 years old? Is it simply a bad habit or could it be a silent cry for help? Let's explore the psychology behind it.
During our years of working in mental health, we have met many children and families facing emotional challenges. One particular child we met has stayed in our heart ever since, and we would like to share that story with you. His childhood was filled with pressure, exam, tuition, homework, and the constant fear of failing. At school, he was often called good for nothing. Something he was made to stand outside the classroom, something he was separated from his classmates. If the teacher believed he was a distraction, instead of feeling understood, he felt rejected. But as the night approached, one fear slowly took over. What if I wet the bed again tonight? Every morning, if the bed was wet, he was mocked, scolded, and made to feel ashamed as though he had done something wrong. One night, after he wet the bed again, his father collected his urine in a spoon and poured it onto the child's face as a punishment. Even years later, that memory still brought tears to his eyes. At that moment, he realized something important. Bedwetting was never the biggest problem. The deepest wound was the emotional pain the child carried for years. So, let us ask you something. If bedwetting was the real problem, why did the emotional pain last much longer than the wet bed itself? To answer that, we first need to understand what bedwetting really is.
In psychology, bedwetting is known as a nocturnal enuresis. It is one of the most common concerns affecting both children and parents. When a child continues to wet the bed after the age at which nighttime bladder controls is usually expected, it is important to understand why it is happening instead of immediately blaming the child. Psychology generally describes two types of bedwetting. The first type is primary enuresis. This happens when a child has never constantly achieved nighttime bladder control. Sometimes the reason is physically. It may be due to the delayed bladder developmental, deep sleep where the brain does not respond to the bladder signals, lower nighttime production of antidiuretic hormones or ADH, which normally helps to reduce urine production while we sleep, or delay neurological development. But here another important question: what if a child had already gained bladder control and suddenly started wetting the bed again? Can the bladder suddenly forgot, or is the child mind trying to tell us something? Because sometimes the bed is wet not because the bladder is weak, but because the children's heart is carrying a burden. Let's uncover the hidden psychology in part 2. Much more. Let's talk together.